Hey, what's good guys? This is Phil, and welcome back to Job Hunters, the web series that teaches you how to get a job. Today's topic is resume building. The resume we're going to show you how to build today is going to be a bit more generic. It's more so you have something on file, and it'll be more or less just a list of your skills and your most impressive experiences. This is the kind of resume you want to bring with you if you're going to a job fair, applying to a temp agency, or maybe you have a friend who's hooking you up and with a job and they just want to know your general capabilities. In a future video, I'll be showing you guys how to tailor your resume specifically to an actual job you're finding online, and that'll be coming up in a future video, so stay tuned. With that, let's get started. Alright guys, so before we begin here, we need a resume template. Now you could either Google search resume template downloads like I have here, or you can ask a buddy of yours to just, hey, can I use your resume? Scrub out their data and then enter in your information on top. For the most part for now, just try to follow the format of whatever template you're utilizing now and, basically just put your information in its place. Don't go too crazy with it right now. We'll worry about content and all that other stuff here in a second. And just to show you later on, I actually do have a sample resume, so sit tight and I promise we'll get to that. But before we actually start entering any information in, let's talk about some of the main goals we need to keep in mind here. First off, you need to keep it simple and make it easy to read. That means using fonts like Arial, Times New Roman, and keeping the size between 10 and 12 is actually usually pretty standard. Don't go too crazy with, crazy font sizes. I don't want to be seeing none of that Comic Sans, that wingding stuff, whatever. Just keep it real professional and keep it real simple. Next point here is one page only. That's how long you want your resume to be. The reason for that is that most hiring managers actually only spend about less than a minute or so looking over your resume. That means within that 1 minute you need to leave a really great lasting impression on them. So you have one page to leave them with your most impressive stuff. Color. Here's a question I get a lot actually is, should I add color? The answer is generally no. Most people find it distracting. However, if you're applying to maybe like a creative job where, maybe you do media creation or video editing or an art studio, I can understand if you want to add a little bit of color just to show off your creativity, but don't go overboard, and again, keep it simple. And when in doubt, just keep it black and white. It's pretty standard, just keep it nice and black and white. Next off is omitting high school information. This is really important if you are about to graduate college or you've already graduated college. The reason for that is because if you were in band camp or a cheerleader or whatever in high school and you have that on your resume, if I'm reviewing a resume, this is what it tells me. It tells me that for the 4+ years or so in college, you've just been screwing around and you don't really have much to show for it because you're showing me stuff you did like over 4 years ago in high school. That means you haven't done jack this whole time in college. Unfortunately, I understand some people maybe just don't have anything to put on there. Then I understand you got to do what you got to do and put your high school stuff in there. But when in doubt, try and keep that stuff out of there. And maybe this is a moment, like a light bulb moment for some of you guys to, maybe you should find that part-time job, that internship, that, doing extracurricular activities or joining groups so that, you can actually put stuff into your resume, not just like, random activities you did in high school. Which actually brings me to content, which is the most important aspect of your entire resume. You could spend all day formatting and trying to make your resume look pretty, like visually, but at the end of the day, the most important aspect of your resume is your actual words, your actual content, meaning your skills, your experiences, and your previous responsibilities. And so that leads me to using powerful and descriptive words. So in layman's terms, I guess it's basically making your content sound pretty. Here's a great example. Let's pretend you work at a department store, a clothing department store, for instance, right? I did that before in the past. And one of the, what do you want to say, responsibilities is counting the money in the register. So, for instance, maybe a bullet point under your department store A would say, counted money in register, like I have there. See, that's not very appealing, right? It's not grabbing. What you want is to pretty up the words a little bit. You want to use those powerful descriptive words. So for instance, if we reworded that, you could reword it as accounted for department's end of day earnings. That sounds way better than counted money in register. But when you're first creating your resume, a lot of times a great idea is just to spitball out all your responsibilities and ideas and make it real simple like that. Counted money in register, did responsibility 1, did responsibility 2. And then once you have it all listed out, go back and we'll use those powerful descriptive words I was talking about. And if you want to find more of those words, you can actually Google search resume keywords and you'll get a long list of all kinds of different links for great words you can use in your resume. Or what I actually use is, for instance, if it is something as simple as counted money in register, maybe I'll go to thesaurus.com and I'll type in the word counted, and then I'll look up synonyms that are better sounding than just the word counted. Finally, you want to make sure you review, revise, and edit your resume. That means not just you looking at it, that means your friends, your colleagues, and hopefully someone who has more experience than you, because they're going to have, a better eye on it than you do. And if you're actually in, college right now, there's actually a lot of student service centers at colleges that have counselors or, actual resume building workshops. So make sure to check those out, and I'm sure those will help you out. Alright guys, as promised, here is a quick sample resume. Again, I found the template right off of the internet. Remember, you can find yours off the internet or use a buddy's, however you want to do it. Just basically follow the template and put my own information in. So let's take a look at a couple things real quickly here. First off, you'll notice my name is large and at the top. Very important, so it's easy to see. The only exception to the rule of font sizes being around 10 to 12, you can make your name pretty large, and I recommend you do that as well. You can obviously quickly see there's contact information here. Obviously, again, standard. It may look a little different on yours, but just make sure you have your name relatively large with your contact information quickly to follow. So before we get too far into this, let's talk about some of the goals we initially stated. First off, is it simple to read? I'd say so. It's between that 10 to 12 font pretty much everywhere. I didn't use Times New Roman or Arial. I actually used a Calibri, which is actually another good font that I really like. I think it looks really clean as well. But yeah, for the most part, I'd say the whole resume is pretty simple to read there. Is it one page? Yes, it is one page. No extra pages there. Color? Ignore the highlights. There's no color. Those highlights I'll show you guys in a second why they are there. But yeah, pretend nothing's highlighted, so no color. It's all black and white. There's no high school information. At the bottom here I do have my college information there. Pretty standard stuff there. So let's talk about the content and our keywords real quickly. So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a poorly written responsibility, and then I'll kind of show you how it can be rewritten to be a little bit better. Again, kind of like what I did earlier. So one of my responsibilities was that I used data to market to different people and audiences. Again, if you're just spitballing ideas, throw them out just like that. That's fine. But when you come back to it and you want to make those words better and you want to use those, powerful keywords, think about how you could rewrite this using better words. So for instance, instead of saying, use data to market to different people and audiences, I wrote, utilize survey data and demographic analysis for targeted marketing efforts. That just sounds so much more powerful. It's kind of silly though, because essentially they do mean the same thing, right? But again, we have less than a minute to, what's it called? What am I trying to say? Impress. Yeah, impress. That's the word I'm looking for. We have less than a minute to impress, the reader of this. So you want to do everything you can. So obviously, instead of saying this, I would say the blue. So we'll just take this out to show you. That's what you would want to have it say. Feel free to read in depth, pause this and read in depth as much as you want in these. It's really up to you guys, and feel free to steal a lot of these major keywords that I use here if you like those. I don't mind. Whatever helps you guys out. So next, here's the one that I immediately saw. I didn't even bother looking up a different, word we could use there. But, this is one I actually put in on a previous resume. It says, work with senior management to research lessons learned, etc., etc., etc. Well, work, we could use a better word than work. We can use collaborated or teamed or, something. So again, you can look up a keyword in Google search, or you can just look up, synonyms for the word work. Occupation, it doesn't really work well. So yeah, use thesaurus.com and look up synonyms if you wanted to change that out. Let's do a quick 2 more since you guys already get the idea. Here's another one. So I essentially sent out legal documents in etc., etc., etc. So instead of saying sent out, I used the word expedited legal documents in a fast pace and blah, blah, blah. So as you can see, again, using a better keyword. So you don't want to use this, you want to use this. So we'll get that out of there. And we'll do one more quick one here. When I was an admin, so I basically made accounting reports and forecasting sheets for one of my managers. So again, a better way to say that would be produce budget analysis reports and forecasting projections in Microsoft Project. So that's actually helpful too. Again, they essentially say the same thing. Just another example on how you should rewrite your responsibilities and tasks. I did want to quickly talk about your summary of qualifications. It's funny that no matter how far I go in business, I'm still asked by nearly every hiring manager what my skills are with Microsoft Office. And it's kind of funny because even if you're hiring, trying to be an analyst or something, it kind of goes hand in hand, but I still get the same question: how good are you with Excel or Outlook or PowerPoint? I get those questions every time. And so this is just a qualification I always like to put out there right at the top so I can get it out of the way. If you are not proficient with any of these, I'll try to do videos actually showing how you guys can use some of these, and nice little tricks also if you guys are willing to. Just throw a comment out there if you're really interested. But yeah, make sure you become familiar with these if you are working in an office environment. Obviously, if you're not working in an office and you don't use these at all, then it probably won't pertain to you. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents there. So yeah, hopefully you guys like that, and hopefully some of this helped you out. If it helped you out, please like, or if you have maybe friends who are struggling, please go ahead and show this to them, because I want to make sure everyone gets helped out there. Again, subscribe, check out the Facebook, the Twitter if you want updates, and stay tuned because I have more videos coming. I believe my next video is actually using the resume we just made to actually apply to something online. So yeah, stay tuned guys. Thanks a lot.